Hi, it's Tythar here for EGN, and today I'm going to be doing a Let's Play of the Crusader Kings 2 mod, the Warhammer mod that is. I'm not going to try and pronounce the actual name as it is in a German word, so I'm just going to get this all set up. I've already picked this character ahead of time. The character's name is Tythar Elereth, or Tythar Elereth, sorry I should say. And going to set him all up. I'm running this at 2 times speed though for you, so that hopefully we'll be able to get through some stuff a little bit quicker here for you. Obviously anybody who's played Crusader Kings 2 knows how long this game can take. So just setting up our councillors, setting everybody up to hopefully first of all get some more money, also as well to go and study technology from other lands. Now we're going to go, I believe, into the old world, yeah, and we're going to try and see about trying to set up some claims in there so we can hopefully expand into the old world, get a bit more footing, and then increase our power out there, so that way hopefully we should then be able to turn all of that then back into Ulthuan and expand in the actual main Elven kingdom. It's going to probably take quite a while for us to get that. Hopefully it shouldn't take too long though, but we'll see. Also going to set up a marriage to this woman, I believe it is going to be a prestige hit even. However, we will try and marry her. I'm not even going to try and pronounce her name, so I'll just call her Rai. And let's see. Okay, we can get back some of that prestige, but there's going to be quite a loss there for us, unfortunately. So this guy, I always like to play these games with a little bit of roleplay in mind. Imagine what this character's actually doing. This game can have some really interesting events, which only make sense if you put them into roleplay terms. So this guy, his main aim is obviously going to be to hopefully expand in the outside world, go back into the old world, reclaim some of the power from the humans, to then be able to turn that back in, and eventually claim hopefully some more land in Ulthuan and gain more influence there. Obviously would love to become one of the princes, but that is something that is going to be a long time plan. Obviously luckily he is an elf, so they do live for centuries, so do have the option for that. And so let's see, we're just trying to sort of work out exactly what we're doing here, having a look through some of the elven options and everything. It's quite cool that some of all the different races do have different abilities, special abilities, things that they can do. So I've played in Athalorian, which is the wood elves before, and they can summon armies of spirits, so your dryad and things like that, which is a really nice ability. And the elves have choices with isolationist, and so wanting to just focus on Ulthuan, I'll focus on the world as a whole, and it'll give them different bonuses and things like that. So, and there we go, my wife is now pregnant. One thing that they do in this game, which you will see me taking into consideration later, is the elves, if they give birth or they sire a child, there is a chance that they can become infertile because of it, which is a really useful thing to be honest. If you live for centuries, the amount of children that you would have if that wasn't the case would just be unreasonable. Now this guy's tried to rebel against me, so we've got a nice little civil war going here, going to try and bring him down to his knees. As we try to imprison him, he's decided to reject that, and so we take his army down relatively easily. And obviously this is sort of how combat goes in this game. We do have a new princess, so I'm going to rename her. I'm going to name her sort of after myself, so I'm actually going to name her as Tythalia. So I'll get that out of the way, and then we shall continue on with this mini civil war. Now I'm about to encounter a slight problem here, which is that my troops are not large enough to be able to besiege the castle of my count, which is a slight problem. So looking like probably will be a case that we won't actually be able to finish this war. Luckily we do have quite a bit. Well, we could finish the war, but by the time we'd finish the war, as it can be a case where if it's long enough, I believe it can sort of steadily creep up. Oh wait, no, this one is actually creeping down, so we're just going to offer him a white peace, and that'll get us some benefits at least. However, he won't get anything, as he was the one, luckily, that started the war. So white pieces, when you were the one that attacked, tend to favour you slightly. Obviously, the enforced demands favours you a lot, and can see defeat is losing, what you'd expect, really. So we're just going to have a look through here. I've actually been accepted as the commander, I believe, yes, for my prince. So this will mean I wouldn't be able to choose him to lead one of my armies if I was to be doing something that, while he's off leading armies for my prince. It's something that you can do, might want to consider not doing, possibly. So, you know, it depends, obviously, if you've got an important thing that you need to lead. But obviously, leading armies, as you see there, does give you extra abilities. You can learn to do new things. So he's now in prison there. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to take the heavy infantry for that one. Now, what's this saying? So yes, so let's think. I'm not really too sure on what I'm doing with this. I'm still sort of getting a feel for things and everything. Just trying to have a look around and see what's going on. Obviously, technology is still here, although for the elves I haven't really noticed needing to use technology. I haven't really tried playing as the humans very much. I think I played a couple of years of one, and it was too similar to the sort of the base game. When I'm going to these mods, I'm looking for sort of a new experience. I will, however, probably consider trying a dwarf at some point as well, trying to reclaim a dwarven kingdom. Let's have a look. So we are getting raided by the Dark Elves as well. They do get some of the raiding abilities similar to the Norse in the base game. And so one of my counts here has died, so I've actually claimed his kingdom, which is actually a good thing for me, as it means I'm now able to draw more taxes from it and draw more levies, or a larger army for it. So I'm regularly having a look here, you know, evaluating my council there, checking to make sure that I've got the best people for the job, making sure they're all assigned as needed. Obviously, as you can see as well, that I am considering revoking that guy. Obviously, I can't actually revoke it. Can't just straight revoke it without a reason. So I think this is, yes, I will try and, using an intrigue, try and plot to kill him. I will just start by saying this does not go well. I did not really think it through all that much. So I've managed to invite one person to the plot, unfortunately, and then obviously send in my shadow, which is going to improve the odds of it. I'm trying to get some of their courtiers to agree to it. Unfortunately, I do try this for quite a while, pretty much blow all of my money, and realise that it's not actually going to work. But we'll let this play out. You'll see how that goes. Luckily, I am still getting other things at the same time. So my justification in terms of the game of this is this guy is, leader is determined to try and bring all of the lands back to himself. So he knows he could rule them all very easily. As you can see in the top right, the lands, he currently rules 2 lands and can rule up to 7. So he could get it very easily. So he's trying to get rid of him, basically to be able to inherit the land, get more money for himself, and also as well be able to raise more troops. So he's still, you know, trying to do that. It's not really working. He can't really seem to find anybody, and I do believe eventually I'm just going to have to try and give up on this. But let's see. I'm still determined to try and find a few other people. Don't know why we're going to try this. Obviously, if we could get a few more people, we would have enough to be able to try and actually do this plot. But it's just not really going to work. But we're going to try anyway. Give some people some stuff, make them like us more. So let's have a look. That's my wife. Obviously, my wife seems to be determined to put people on my council who she likes, but unfortunately are not as good as the people that I've got currently. I am normally happy to switch out people that I do have. Obviously, there is sort of a decrease in how much they like you if you kick them out of an office, so you do have to take that into consideration in this game. Luckily with elves you do get long reign bonuses like mad. Most people do tend to be pretty happy with it. Keep going back to this plot here. I'm still determined to try and keep it going. Not too sure when it is I'm going to eventually give up on it. I do keep looking over at my money, thinking that I have enough. This guy had managed to get a good bit of money, so I thought it was something that he would have money to be able to turn some people to his way of thinking. Also, as you will see, I have sent my diplomat guy over there to try and boost my rating with all of the court and the vassals in that land, to try and make them like me more than him. Therefore, they will be more willing to have me as their direct lord rather than going through somebody else. So let's just have a look, see what's going on. So I'm just, again, obviously regularly looking through land, having a think about possibly some other lands that I could possibly take over. Those islands, they are quite split up, so it's something I might consider going into eventually. I'm just trying to expand my land further in Ulthuan, although it's probably not something that I'm going to do anytime soon, as I will obviously be sort of at a similar sort of level of number of men that I have compared to them, so it would be a case that I would need to go into the old world, as I mentioned earlier, expand into there, and, you know, try and deal with all the humans that are upstart races. But I am also going to, actually, as well, yes, so I have divorced my wife, and she had become infertile, so let's have a look, try and see if we can get somebody who might possibly be able to bring us some land in if we can, or if not, at least just some good traits. So, looks like it's something that you do have to be careful with. It's not so much for love sometimes in this, although it has happened in the past where I have had a person deny actually any form of marriage to myself, just waiting to get a marriage with somebody else. And that was one of probably the most interesting things that ever happened in this game. I've got about 400 hours in this game, mainly in the base game there, and played a lot of them. Only have a couple though to completion. I tend to get quite like a couple of centuries in, then give up on it, or want to try out something new with a new sort of faction. Okay, so one thing I will say is I've noticed this game is a lot, like the world is a lot bigger than the base game. It does seem to be actually slowing down my computer a little bit, which is quite strange, given that my computer is very powerful. Should be able to run this game no problem. And there we go, we have finally given up on the plot. Okay, and just as I give up on the plot, of course, he does die, and I actually inherit the land anyway. So that was quite a nice happenstance there. Now, I'm getting a nice bit of money now, however, I do want to get more. I would like to start to upgrade my lands and things like that. So let's see, obviously I'm educating my child myself. It tends to be the best thing. You get to have a bit more control over what traits they are going to have. So let's see, just going also as well, I do have the pretty much all of the DLC now. The only one that I don't have is the Sunset Invasion. It's sort of an alternate history mod for the main game, so I have all the things like being able to edit the hair in game and stuff like that. So I'm going to send my guy back over to there, as I didn't manage to get a claim earlier on. So we're going to give up on Ulthuan, and I seem to be jumping around quite a bit. Not too sure really what I want to go for. Also, I like to tend to move the guy around a little bit. I don't know why, I just have it. I think it might, I like to hope it might speed him up slightly. Very, very rarely does though, unfortunately, but I can always hope. So we'll try and go into this. Obviously then we can look at possibly expanding in this land next to Bretonia, which would be brilliant. So this is all going to just take, it's a lot of ticking over, waiting for things to happen, and then when stuff does happen, it tends to happen very, very quickly in this game. Or quickly relative to what has happened in the past. I'm not sure if that actually means that it is quick, or whether it's just it seems a lot quicker compared to how slow this game does, sort of slowly paced, and how slow the game runs in general. Certainly for this game, I think with being elves and things like that, it's going to notice a lot of a slower game. But this guy has had several years, you know, he's been going, leading his people now, got quite a nice stable kingdom where he's earning a good bit of money each month into his personal sort of banks. I'm going to try and save up enough for that, so that way if I do go to war, obviously you have to pay for your troops and things, so that way there's no risk of my character actually running out of money during a war. Now, one thing as well that you will notice though is the sea between myself and the old world is actually something that I can't cross, so I have to go all the way around. That is something that I will need to take into consideration, so it will give them more chance to prepare before my armies are able to attack. Not brilliant, but something, you know, we'll work around, deal with it when we can. So I've picked an ambition there to hopefully, you know, hopefully win a war. That'll get me some martial and also as well prestige and things like that if you are managing to meet your character's goals. So he really does want to start a war with somebody. He's really hoping for it to be in the old world, although he did have a brief consideration of could he try and, you know, expand into Ulthuan, possibly by claiming independence. Although admittedly that probably would not go all that well. So I'm going to try, I believe, consider actually upgrading some of these areas. Yeah, so I'm going to upgrade some stuff just to get some more troops and also some more galleys to make sure I can actually take all of my troops over to the old world when I do attack. You know, I tend to keep my councillors pretty set on what they're doing though. And so let's see how this is going. So, oh, there we go. We've finally managed to get that. So it is going to cost me a prestige and gold. So I've lost quite a bit. I am basically now completely skint in terms of money and prestige, so we're going to let that build up a little bit first, like I mentioned earlier, just to make sure that we can support the armies. And then we will, oh, there we go, we have declared war on him. So, and I'm really not sure what I was doing there. Oh, that was it, I was resigning as commander so that way I could personally lead the troops myself. And so we are going to raise up the vessels, and then also as well get all the troops into these vessels so that hopefully we can get these all sent over the old world and see how this war will go. As anybody who's played this game obviously in the past may know, however, you can probably guess how this is going to go, as I have nobody to support me. I haven't checked to see whether he has any allies or anything like that. If he does, which as I'm recording the vocals after having played this, there we go, as I have just bothered to check and realised that he does have an ally that he's managed to bring in with him. And so we are going to land here. Obviously if you land straight from ships you're going to get a massive minus, so that's something you need to be aware of. Also you will notice the small skull on my people when I was in the other land, which meant that I would have lost people just from attrition. We needed to get out there as quickly as possible. And so I managed to get another ability for attacking. Did have a personal combat there as well, managed to take them out. So let's see how this goes. And I have noticed as well that my enemy's ally came in with over 5,000 men. So got back on my ships, got the hell away from there as quickly as possible. And also as well I am going to try and besiege some of his lands, see if that can hopefully increase the score for the actual war score, and hopefully be able to claim peace that way and claim some of my lands, or at the very least get this other guy to drop out of the war. So let's see how this is going. We're steadily, you know, besieging them. Tend to be just a little bit nervous here, obviously worrying that those 5,000 men were going to come over. Do notice that actually the war score is decreasing, so that's quite worrying to say the least. And let's see how this is going. Does seem to be consistently decreasing, so this is a bit where I'm going to sort of have to probably have a look at trying to see whether that army's still in the land that I'm actually trying to get, and then hopefully it will have moved on to try and chase me down here, and then I can actually besiege that land. Although how well that will go, don't know. And yeah, desperately trying to call those just in case I did happen to have any I didn't realise of. As you can see, that's now decreased quite a lot, so it's gone down from 15 to 18, so it's nearly completely decreased. Move that guy into there, and yes, so I see that that is the case. So I am going to declare a peace, sort of a white peace, so I don't win, I don't get any lands, I actually think I lose quite a bit, and my guy basically has to go back to Ulthuan, basically in complete and utter shame. He has lost to the humans, he has near bankrupted himself, he's a laughingstock, and he has not been able to claim any lands for himself, which is pretty much the worst of what could have happened. Although he does still have the claim, so who knows, maybe I'll go back and I will try again at a later date. Although, let's have a look-see, and so my daughter is coming along quite nicely here. And so, not really sure what to do now. Obviously, we're going to have to let everything build back up and work out what we're doing. And I'm going to go on hunting, and then what should happen? But of course, I should die. So my guy dies without ever managing to do anything else, and basically is a laughingstock of all of the Elven kingdoms. So that is where I'm going to leave it for today, with the end of Tythar Elereth, and we shall pick up as his daughter Tythalia next time. Sorry, Tythalia. I'll get that right eventually next time, and we shall see how her regency and the early years of her rule goes. So hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to give me a subscribe. This is hopefully going to be a regular series that I am going to be running regular. If you do have any tips or anything you'd like to see me doing in it, please do feel free to comment below. Obviously, make sure that you subscribe to get notifications of when these new ones are going to be coming out. I post videos at least twice a week, and obviously would love to have you come and watch them and hopefully enjoy some of my videos.